Lindorf right on his tail and more sideways action. These two behind it closing. Oh, Pridmore, I think he touched the wall. Number one, is it going to be the same outcome? Oh, he's lost it. He's lost the rear. Can he save it? He has. He's run very, very wide. He's turning it into a four-wheel drive machine. And here comes DJ. He's going to pick them all off. Ford versus Holden. Lindorf comes to the inside. He's got aggressive. They're banging door panels and he still can't make it. Stick into turn number 4. Jamison, but he holds on. And now we're firing up the inside. DJ on the inside of Pridmore. There's contact.
Kieran Pridmore, is he going to make up another spot? Kane Baxter Smith covers it off beautifully, and wow, this is great racing.
Unfortunately, Natch not on the grid this weekend. He's been quite unwell in the last few weeks. We really do wish him a speedy recovery. He's here around the track this weekend. I'm sure you're listening, mate. Wish you a speedy recovery and hope to see you back out there on the grid in the not too distant future. But here we are on the grid, just moments away from race number 1.
Is it Travis Lindorf that's missing out of this?
I think it is. So after all the repairs he's made, it's not come to any good, unfortunately, as we are underway. Good initial launch from DJ in the yellow Falcon, but it's pretty equal between the two as they roar down towards turn number 1. 1, 2, 3 Fords at the front of the field, and it looks like it is going to be Jamison that will lead on the inside line into turn 1. DJ breaks late, tries to hold it around the outside and keeps second position ahead of Kane Baxter Smith.
Round through turn 1 they go, everyone clean off the line. Daniel has got the inside running here, but they're going to go around the outside. The 56 Swift solar car there of Kane Baxter Smith holds him out. Geez, I tell you what, the Commodore of Kieran Pridmore's looked left, looked right. He's been hung out to dry on all first 4 corners at the moment. Let's see how they go up the straight as we just get a good look at the Darren Costellis entry, the 33 coming onto the back straight there as well, and it is going to be the South Australian that leads the field up the back straight. Sean Jamison, and he's got Kane Baxter Smith with him. Daniel Johnson short back inside. The 66 now looks to the inside. Kieran Pridmore finally gets the inside of the corner there, but now he's fighting with one of his own General's men.
Absolutely, a bit of a lock-up just behind. I think that was Griffith locking up down into Dandenong Road. Keeps it on the racetrack, though. He's got McSwain and Ordino right behind him. So they've kept it relatively clean on lap number 1. A few changes of position, most notably Baxter Smith making his way past the reigning champion. I'll tell you what, Baxter Smith has quickly dusted off the cobwebs. He is back on the pace immediately after a long hiatus from saloon car racing.
Great to see Kieran Pridmore pushing very, very hard there. Adam Lowndes poised in position as well, a guy that is normally inside that top 3 with Daniel, but at the moment it's Kane Baxter Smith, who was around back in the old dial before you dig National Championship era, and the 56 Swift Solar entry doing very, very good job indeed. Where is Lowndes? He's sitting back there in 5th spot at the moment. The Pro Climb car, there he is, going through there. So the number 19 car pushing on hard as the 45 goes through there as well. That's Bright, and looking pretty good there. Kerry Bright started out of 10th, made up a spot in this opening stanza.
Yes, certainly has. DJ, the lights are on. He is right behind Baxter Smith as they go over the crest of the hill and down into Dandy Road as we see a couple of the new cars. The new look for Shembry there at the bottom of the shot. He's also had a few dramas earlier on this morning. Yesterday he had a gearbox issue, and then this morning a tail shaft issue. He's still got no lights on his dash, but that wasn't the main concern after qualifying. He needed to get that tail shaft back working to make the car drivable, and he sits in position number 11 as we see a good exit from Daniel Johnson onto the pit straight. He moves to the inside line. and pulls alongside the silver and black Falcon. Good move from the number 1. No, not quite so deep under brakes. In fact, Kane Baxter Smith has outbroken himself. He's run it wide. Oh, he's got a little crossed up over the curb, just about. Keeps it facing in the right direction and holds on to the position. But a bit of a moment there. You don't want to be doing that every single lap of the race, or else you'll have very brown trousers by the end of it, that's for sure.
What if you started off with brown trousers?
You're all right then, aren't you?
Browner trousers.
DJ, another good exit out of turn number 4, this time looking on the outside. So it looks like he's getting good drive out of the corners, but can he do anything about it this time? He's got a good overlap, but Baxter Smith late under brakes once again says, no you don't. Slot back in behind me, mate. And in fact, DJ runs wide and through comes Pridmore. So the General's leader takes 3rd position. It's been a good start to the race for Pridmore. He's made up a position on Lowndes and now on DJ. And already having a look at Baxter Smith. It's a brilliant start to the race for Karen Pridmore in the number 66 machine. Was always there or thereabouts last year and has come out with a bang, firing on all cylinders in 2024, right on the tail of Baxter Smith as they cross the line. No doubt who's leading. 3 seconds the margin. Sean Jamieson over the rest of the field. He was 1.5 seconds faster than the chasing pack that time through. He did a 1:25.5. Baxter Smith behind, a 1:27 flat. And Pridmore, is he looking or defending down into turn number 2? I think it was a bit of both. And there we are, proof of that fastest lap from Sean Jamieson. Great battle though for position number 2. DJ using all the road on the outside. And good to see that Lowndes isn't dropping off this pack either. He's about 1.5 seconds behind DJ. And not too far away either is Griffith. It's a good battle, this for position number 2.
Fantastic start to the Excalibur Screwbolts race here for the saloon cars. Up the inside now, the 66, Kieran Pridmore. Is he going to make up another spot? Kane Baxter Smith covers it off beautifully. And wow, this is great racing. We haven't seen any trouble just yet. There might be in the future, but this is great racing. No room given. But let me tell you, the battle rages on. Maybe a little bit of room given, Dan. Just enough room given.
Just enough there. I thought we were in for a magnificent accident.
Here's the problem, though. Both these cars are silver. We're not going to be able to see any colours rubbed off on each other, are we?
No, definitely not. But yeah, they looked to me like Pridmore thought he had the move done, and then by the time they got to the apex, found he didn't quite have as much room as he expected to have. He's going to go for another send down here into turn number 1. Is it going to be the same outcome? Oh, he's lost it. He's lost the rear. Can he save it? He has. He's run very, very wide. He's turning it into a 4-wheel drive machine. And here comes DJ. He's going to pick them all off. He takes position number 2. That's awesome stuff. Pridmore into 3rd, Lowndes up to 4th, and Baxter Smith has dropped back from 2nd to 5th. He just wanted to stay out of all the trouble there, I think.
I tell you what, if you're looking for some skilled racing, that was it. All over. Bar the shouting then. Everyone gathered it all back up. Yes, there was spots lost and gained, but I tell you what, that is circuit racing at its absolute finest. Ding-dong battle, Aussie-built saloons, and that is what they're doing here. The 19 looks up the inside this time. It's the Pro Plum car of Adam Lowndes. He wants a part of the action. He sat back off the back of this action for a whole lap and went, nope, I'm in. And Baxter Smith tags out because he's gone from P2 back to P5 in that little battle over that lap. This is a massive race. And don't worry about it. Sean Jamieson has checked out in the front of this field. Last lap around, a 1:25.38. He was a second faster than anyone else on the track last lap around. We're just not even seeing him in the shot anymore. He has just disappeared. There he is, our race leader, Sean Jamieson, celebrating his dominant lead of this race in, 5 laps in, 6.5 minutes left to go.
It's certainly been an exciting start, that's for sure. Baxter Smith is losing momentum because now he has Griffiths behind him and McSwain not too far behind either. All three of those separated by less than a second and a half, and we're closing up for position number 2 as well now. Pridmore back on the tail of DJ as you see them head out of turn number 4. Here's a replay of last lap. Look at that, it's like a rally car thrown in Scandinavian, flicking it around the corner, somehow keeps it facing in a straight line and holds position.
You know what was cool about that shot and this shot? I hadn't noticed Daniel with the number 1 on his car as well, emblazoned across the front and down the side. Well done, last year's champion, defending, and isn't he doing a good job? In fact, he's not defending, he's trying to pick up some fuel along the way there. The fuel filler flap is just dangling away in the breeze, as an AU Falcon did do.
Yes, slightly revised livery. Oh, and McSwain and Griffith have come together. Oh, that's came Baxter Smith, who's facing backwards. So all three of them have come to blows down at Dandenong Road. And, well, it was looking like a really good return for Baxter Smith. He was up to second position at one point, but it's all gone wrong in the last couple of laps. He's trying to hook reverse and get out of everyone's way. A really precarious position, that is. Are we going to go for a J-turn? Oh, not quite enough speed. I was thinking we were going to have a Fast and Furious type stunt pulled off there, but not quite.
It looked like the school pickup in the early 2000s, didn't it? Someone's mum backing the Falcon up against the traffic. Kane Baxter Smith, let's hope he gets back in the race there because he was seriously entertaining. And I'm not saying that these guys aren't going to be, but Daniel Johnson, unaccustomed driving to him. He's just gone, you know what, I'm going to get aggressive here this weekend. I got the number 1, I want to keep it. Let's have a look in the back of shot. 2 into 1, won't go. Third one arrives on the scene, and we've got strife all the way around. And they continue on. Here we go, back in the run for P2. Bit of smoke just pluming up in the air there. Side by side, the 1 and the 68 go. We're going to go 4 wheels over the back of the ripple strip. Lowndes follows through, and we've got 2 Commodores taking action out over the track limits.
And so DJ demoted 1 spot, and Lowndes now on his tail. But yeah, I think Lowndes lost a lot of momentum coming out of turn 4 as he had to take a slightly compromised line with Rob Knight there on the outside. Nothing Rob could do. He got out the way as far as he possibly could, but DJ just had to take an ever so slightly compromised line on the exit, and that's given Pridmore the run, and remarkably goes around the outside at the top of the hill. A brilliant manoeuvre as we come towards the end of this race. It's flown by, just 4 minutes left on the clock. Jamison now got the margin out to 6.5 seconds. A truly remarkable performance. As I said, last time he was here at Sandown, he won all 3 races this time last year. So he likes this track, does the South Australian. He's had good history here in the past, not just last year, but I believe he won all 3 races the year before as well. So very good history for Jamison, particularly at Sandown Raceway. Although we're accustomed to him driving a red Commodore generally, moved over to the blue oval side for this weekend in the number 59 machine. And although Pridmore's taken second, DJ is not letting him out of his sights.
A bit of for Jammo, it's a bit of eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Every time he goes into the shed and goes racing, I'll use that one this weekend, and that's what he does. This is absolute battle royale lining up for positions 2, 3 and 4 on the road, and so it should be, and absolutely so it should be. Daniel is trying to defend his championship. These two are trying to win one. Adam Lowndes would certainly like to end up on the podium. There's a bit of a punch in the eye there for the number 7 at Griffith. And just a bit of bodywork dragging on the ground. No harm, no foul. Press on.
That's for the contact down at the Dandy Road with Baxter Smith, who has returned to the race in 10th position and not too far behind the number 45 of Bright. So a top 10 position is certainly on the cards because that's where he's at the moment, but he can certainly make up a couple of positions by the time this race comes to an end. And once again, the battle for second position is re-intensifying. We've seen them change positions on multiple occasions. Now it's DJ applying the pressure, and it's Pridmore that slides out of turn number 4 this time. This is what the yellow Falcon wanted to see, because this is what allowed the man ahead of him through a few laps ago, as our race leader laps Will Harris. As I say, first ever race at Sandown for Will. He did take part at Calder Park late last year, but that was a non-championship round. So this is his first official championship points paying race for the youngster Bill. And his brother's unfortunately missing this event. He is here, but he's been moving house. He's got a new car, and with moving house, it wasn't quite prepared in time.
Excalibur Screw Bolts on board again, of course, with the saloon cars. A very loyal sponsor. They've done a fantastic job over numerous seasons now supporting the saloon cars, and we thank them for their support. Doing a wonderful job. There's car number 1. And boy, he's starting it off tough, isn't he? He's currently on the podium. Would really like to try and run with Sean Jamieson. I'm sure DJ would like to continue and try and keep up with him. But at the moment, Sean Jamieson is just head and shoulders faster than the rest of the field. It's almost like they can't let him get away at the start of the race, isn't it? They've got to stay with him.
But what won DJ the title last year was consistency.
Correct.
Pridmore was faster than him at certain rounds. So was Kevin Stootman. So was Adam Lowndes. So was Travis Lindorf. But come the end of the season, Mr. Consistency himself collected the points and took the title. It was a nail-biting finish between he and Lowndes, but he had the points to take the title in that final race at Phillip Island late last year. And third place is not the worst way to start your championship defence, that's for sure. There are worse ways to do it.
What is interesting that Jamieson has eased off now. That lead has come back to 3.7 seconds. Last time round was a 1:28.0. The guys that we're looking at on screen now, 1:25.5, 1:25.7 and a 1:25.9. So they are now lapping faster than the race leader, and that gap, we're now starting to see them appear on the same shot, coming into turns 11, 12 and 13 now.
I think what he's doing, we've got 4, 3, 2, 1. He's slowed down, so he only has to do 1 lap less. I reckon that's what he's done, because he's crossed the line with basically 1 second, 0 seconds on the clock, and that means he's got 1 less lap to do.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, they haven't got the last lap board out, though. That's skated by to them. Yeah, 2 to go.
Oh, okay. Not quite worked the way I reckon he had intended it to, or do you think that it might be tyre pressures going off, something like that?
I think he might be just drawing it in for theatrical drama.
Well, he's doing a good job.
He's doing a good job. We're talking about it, aren't we?
Exactly.
Exactly, and he's coming back in the shot with the leaders.
Fastest lap of the race of everyone last lap for Adam Lowndes. So the other cars have come on stronger late on in this race. Jamieson matched them last time through. So 25.6 for him, Pridmore 25.7, another 25.6 for Johnson. And as we say, Lowndes the fast man last time through, 25.2. So he's coming on very strong, and he's having a look at DJ, looking to the inside. I don't think he's going to make that stick at turn number 6. You can't come from behind there. You've got to be at least side by side with them if you want the room at turn number 6. He's closed in under brakes. Or DJ looking a little bit ragged there, as you say. And not quite how we're used to seeing DJ drive the machine. And it's allowed Lowndes to draw alongside as they head into turn number 10 and then around 11. Pretty close between these two. They're good mates, these two. Share the garage next to each other. And they roar across the line one more time.
I'm liking the cut of the jib of Adam Lowndes this season so far in both qualifying and in this race. The number 19 guy, he's really coming on well. He's used the car very, very well in this race and bringing it on strong right towards the end. And that's where you need to be strong in the Commodore here at Sandown. And having looked down the inside here of car 1, the 19 just gets out of it, ends up over the back of the ripple strip here. So let's see if Adam Lowndes has got the championship contention within him. I think he has. I think this is 2024, the year that we might see the very best of Adam Lowndes. Certainly 2023, Mr. Consistency, Daniel Johnson, took it up there, but I think Adam Lowndes just seems to have a little bit more desperation about his race. It's not stupid, it's not throwing it all away, it's just I'm not putting up with that. I'm going to stay with you on this one, and I'm going to apply the pressure back to you, and you're going to make the mistake.
Here he comes down a Dandy Road. No, not quite able to. Had a very good look, but thought better of it. I think that was going to end up in contact, so slots back into 4th, but it's not over yet. It's over for the race victory, though. A truly dominant victory by Sean Jamieson, who exits the final corner. Zoomer on the side of the machine, and he zooms to race number 1. here at Sandown. Second place for Pridmore. DJ comes home in third, and Lowndes just 3/10 behind at the line.
Interestingly enough, Jamo was out in 7 seconds out in the lead there. At the end of the race was only 3 seconds. So later on in the race, he did a 1:26 in the last one, a 1:25 prior to that. Pridmore on the last lap takes the fastest lap there. So 12 laps in, he's been able to push out the fastest lap on a 1:25.1. That's very ominous. Adam Lowndes, looking at him as well over that last lap, was the second fastest car on the last lap. So both those cars, Commodores, coming on strong towards the end of the journey.
Huge gap back to McSwain, who rounds out the top 5, pipping Ordino by 0.6 of a second. Griffith next from Baxter Smith. Those two coming to blows a little bit earlier on in that race. Jeske comes around the final corner to finish in 9th position there, the back of the shot, and then a few more seconds behind Bright, who's actually driving the car that Jeske owned last year. So Jeske's moved into a Ford, and Bright in that Commodore, the white one at the back of the shot, comes home in 10th, just ahead of Shembry. 0.6 of a second, the margin there. So a pretty interesting race to start things off, but no doubt about our race one winner. The South Australian comes over to Victoria and shows them how to do it. 3 seconds the margin from Pridmore, DJ Lowndes, and then, as I say, a massive, massive gap to McSwain, over 35 seconds. McSwain in 5th, Ordino, Griffith, Baxter Smith, Jeske, and Bright. Beyond that, a few cars a lap down. Shembry finished 11th, as we saw. Then Kiritis, I've got to learn how to say that name. I apologise for butchering that. In 12th position, and we're winning the older spec cars, beating home Dylan Gray, William Harris, Rob Knight. Holden and Ford on the front row, Ford on the right, Holden on the left. Who's going to win the drag race, the long drag race? To turn number 1, a brilliant launch away from the line from Pridmore, right in front of our commentary box window. But it looks like the second half of the start was better for Jamison, and they are very much side by side on the run down towards turn number 1. It looks like Lowndes has got past Johnson. Yes, he has, into 3rd position. Bit of a lock-up for Pridmore, but he's managed to turn it in and holds on to position number 2. Brilliant start by Baxter Smith, although he's all crossed up. Brilliant launch. He's made his way past many cars.
Right up in the air there too, Dan. The Swift Solar car gave us a good look underneath the inside of the car there. Gathers it all up on return to the game as well, as we mentioned just in the remarks before the start of this race, as this shot just tells the story, doesn't it? Everyone cleanly getting through turn 4. I'm going to say by lap 3 we'll have them up and over the ripple strip, and that shot's going to get pretty spectacular.
I can see Lindorf from the back of the grid has already made up tons of places. Didn't take the start yesterday. Everything that could have gone wrong with the car did go wrong. Look at the list I've got here. Blocked injectors, fuel pump, fuel line, injector rail. Anything that could go wrong did go wrong with the car yesterday, but he's back out on the track today.
And I feel as though Travis has got a really good championship hunt lined up this season, in good preparation pre-season, and looking to get right up the front and run right back in with this front crew, and see how he goes. Look at that, the guy from South Australia Jags right across to the left on the exit of 13 there. Sean Jamison leads Kieran Pridmore to Kane Baxter Smith, who had a wheel right up in the air, ultimately up 4 spots in the opening lap. Adam Lowndes also there in the mix. Looking forward to seeing how the Pro Plum entry can play out this season. Another one that I feel as though is heading right in that right direction, will play into this championship as the season rolls on. There's a guy there that's going to try and stop every one of those ones I just mentioned that are looking for a big run, and he's got Lowndes in a hurry right behind him in the 19, and that's Daniel Johnson. Carl brilliant as always. We could wax the right out over the back of the ripple strip goes number 1. If there's any doubt he's having a crack at it, there it is right there.
Yeah, he's got past Lowndes on this lap, and he's trying to break away from him early on in this one, right out sideways. But yeah, it's Jamison last race yesterday was able to pull away from the field. Pridmore's not allowing him to do that today, that is for sure. Pridmore right on the gearbox of the Zuma Falcon ahead of him. And we've still got, McSwain from about 6th position has gone off the road at very high speed. That's down the hill towards Dandenong Road. Has he hit anything? The car doesn't look too badly damaged. If he hasn't, it's a bit of rear bodywork damage. So I think he's hit the tyre wall backwards. But he was running nicely. He was in just behind Johnson and ahead of the recovering Travis Lindorf. But I think, to be honest, he's got away quite lightly there.
Yeah, the Tate Lawyers entry car there, drive school entry, just drives off there. So not sure what happened, but it's not a part of track that you want to go off at. It is actually not a good part of Sandown that you can go off at, but at the top of the hill, heading down on the driver's left there, that's nasty. Gets your attention, getting the attention now of Kane Baxter Smith. He's loving the backside of that ripple strip. Drives back over across in front of the 19, the Pro Plum car of Adam Lowndes. And just watching on there is the 61 of Travis Lindorf, the Casey Accident Repair Centre. And there goes the number 34, taking no further part, which is McSwain, going to the back of the paddock.
We've lost Griffith as well, so that's 2 Falcons in the first lap that have fallen by the way, so we're 3 wide. Further behind, Lowndes on the right, Baxter Smith in the middle, and Lindorf might get them both, and does in the 51 machine. And Baxter Smith just about holds off Lowndes as well. This is a brilliant recovery drive from Lindorf, and although Baxter Smith made a brilliant start, he is slowly dropping back in this race. All Lowndes a little bit sideways, crossed up over the curbing, and Tony Ordino's not too far behind either. He can pick up the pieces if mistakes are made from these guys ahead.
So Jamison showing a clean set of heels at the moment. Fastest car on track, a 1:25.34, done on the previous lap to this, on lap number 2. The Bridgestones responding early there for him. Pridmore into 2, then Daniel Johnson in the number 1. Glistening sun off the black bonnet of Daniel's car as he comes up the straight, turns into turn 1. Here is the big charger, Travis Lindorf. Started out of position 15. Dan now up into position number 4, and you get the feeling he's going to range up onto the back of Daniel Johnson in the next lap and a half or so and start to weigh in on a podium result.
Yes, with the pace he's going so far, I would not rule that out at all. So flying along at this point in time, a 1:26.6. It is actually a PB from DJ on the last lap, 1:25.7. But Lindorf is yet to do a lap without traffic at this stage of the race. Let's look a little bit further back. Rob Knight, yesterday in race number 1, had real issues under brakes. He was slamming on the brakes and it was darting to the right. He says it was a very unpleasant experience, and he's fighting with the debutant. That's Bill Harris in the number 20, the EA Falcon just behind.
Great scene of the Aussie-built saloons over the years with the Falcons and Commodores in this category, and the racing has been absolutely spectacular over the last few seasons here. There's a VN, the number 94, up the top of the hill. That is Keegan Gaunt in there as well. Currently Keegan in 13th. Keegan to be on the grid today is remarkable. Missed yesterday's race, gearbox and clutch went in qualifying, and overnight had to buy a gearbox, buy a clutch, get it on the car. The gearbox they bought was broken, so they had to go out and buy another one. This all happened this morning, and they've managed to get it in the car and out there on the racetrack. A remarkable effort from the Gaunt team. You've got to applaud them when they do that. You're at the racetrack for a reason. The race meeting's not over till 5:30 tonight, so try and weigh in on it as much as you possibly can. You've paid your entry. Work as hard as you can to get it all the way through to the end of the weekend. Here's the number 10 now. We're just looking at position number 9 and 10 on the road with Shembry and Bright there in the 45. And that car looks fantastic in the connected livery. So the number 45 there of Kerry Bright on our screen. Can't miss it, can you? Name by name and nature out there. Very, very bright. The connected livery.
I was about to say the same thing. Shembry overtook him just a couple of laps ago, but now it seems that Bright's got the pace back, a couple of tenths faster last time through, and a badge of sportsmanship for a flag for Shembry, so I assume that's for going wide at turn 6 and sort of cutting the chicane, and I'm hearing in my ear that is the reason. So just here, he keeps running it wide and shortcutting this corner, hasn't done so on this occasion, so learnt his lesson, and has got to stick within the track limits for the rest of this race, or else he'll be slapped with a 15-second time penalty.
So Shembry there getting that penalty out. Thanks to Dan for describing all of that. We get back to the front of this field. This is currently car 3 on the road, but car number 1 on the side to be celebrated. Last year's champion a humble kind of a guy, but a very, very hard-working guy. And you can tell by the results, if you look through, he's never outside the top 5, and more often than not, in the top 3. But I tell you what, right behind him, the 51 is wanting it more this weekend, or particularly in this race. Started off rear of the grid, has driven his way through. I'm going to say, Dan, maybe he's just giving it a little bit of a rest right now. He's probably used a lot of the Bridgestone up, weaving his way through the field. So just getting a bit of a measure on what Daniel's up to. I'm taking anything away from the fact that Daniel is fast. Like his lap time, currently the fastest car in the race is Lindorf, but it's only sort of half a second faster than Daniel in front of him.
Schembri has come through the lane. We're just talking about number 10 machine. He's come through the lane, and Lindorf is ignoring your advice because he just said his fastest for the first lap of anybody in the race last time through, a 1:24.4. That's 1.5 seconds faster than the race leader at the moment. He is absolutely flying out there. He's forcing DJ to push. You can see the yellow and black machine sliding out of the final corner, and these four are closing up on each other. The fourth fastest car is the leader, and the fastest car is the one in fourth position. As we see the lead battle in the older specification cars, Gray is just about holding on in his Falcon. Oh, a bit twitchy there, bit of a moment, but keeps it under control, but he's holding off the number 33 behind. So it's Ford and Holden's at the front in the newer spec cars outright, and then Ford versus Holden for first in the older spec cars as well.
4 Excalibur screw bolts have been involved with this category for quite a long time. We applaud their involvement with the saloon cars in the Victorian Championship here. So a big shout out to Excalibur screw bolts. Let's have a look at the leaderboard. It is Jamison, not by so much of a lead as like he had yesterday, Dan. He absolutely streeted them yesterday. Kieran Pridmore is only 1.6 seconds behind. Then it's Daniel Johnson, 1.3 further behind that, to Travis Lindorf, just under a second behind Daniel, and we were just watching that position close up as we're watching the 52 of Gray and Darren Krasitz go through there as well in the 33, and just off the back there, the number 94 of Keegan Gaunt started out of position number 16 up to 12th now, so should be super proud of that effort. Well done, a personal achievement to get any spots up the grid. In fact, I'm going to go so far as to say the 220 entrants here that have entered this weekend should be all proud of themselves for getting a race car to the track. It's a lot of hard work to field a race car in a driver-owner type of situation, and there's 220 of them out there, and let's add up about 1,000 others that gather behind, the families and friends that keep these races going. Welcome to the track, welcome to the live stream as well. We get to enjoy these cars bouncing around the curbs now as we start to hone in on 3.5 minutes left in this race.
It's been a real weekend just to keep the saloon cars out there. They've all been playing mischief first round of the season. Schembri had a tail shaft go. We've had gearboxes, we've had clutches, all sorts of different failures on Friday and even Saturday morning. So to have this many cars still out there circulating is quite remarkable, and a really great effort. The saloon car guys all helping each other out, getting hands on deck where they can. It's a real community spirit down there in the saloon car paddock.
The 51 now just looks to have had a little bit of impotence taken out of his charge here for Travis Lindorf. The gain on Daniel Johnson has sort of eased up a little bit here. Kane Baxter Smith also trying to press on here. We're just looking at Kieran Pridmore, P2 on the road. This is a great drive by Kieran. Anyone that can keep up with Sean Jamieson in the Boomer Signs entry is doing a good job, and he has not been able to drive away with it at this point in time. So well done to Kieran Pridmore and DJ Daniel Johnson in the car 1, still right in their mirrors as well. Travis Lindorf going with them. I'm really looking forward to seeing how his season transpires.
Big lock-up for the race leader. He would definitely run wide there. That shows he's under pressure from Pridmore. He's got the gap down now, Pridmore, to under 1 second. 8 tenths faster than the race leader last time through. He is there. He's right on his tail. This is awesome from Pridmore. Really lifted his game in the off-season and taking the fight to Sean Jamieson, who's dominated at Sandown here in recent years. So this is a really, really good performance. And DJ and Lindorf not too far behind either. So yeah, really good to see these guys take it to our leader Jamieson. Like traffic playing a factor. Rob Knight really well, staying out of the way. Very nicely done. And Bill doing the same. Bit of a lock-up, but Bill Harris gets out of the way of both of the race leaders, doesn't hold either one of them up, and same through those DJ and Lindorf as well.
Certainly don't make any friends holding up the leaders as they're coming through on you and that way, and he's done a terrific job there. Really good use of his mirrors. Oh, have a look at that. We've got a minute and a half remaining, and car 2 on the road. Kieran Pridmore is cracking it sideways. If you reckon he's thrown in the towel, we are a long, long way from a race finish. Yeah, it's about a minute and a half away, but he is absolutely driving the wheels off his Commodore. And all in the background there is car number 1, car number 51, car 19 there of Lowndes. Baxter Smith wants to recover from a pretty bad good early part of this race, but bad middle part.
Oh, Gaunt has gone around at turn number 2. So it looks like a harmless spin. Fingers crossed it's a harmless spin anyway. But that was the reason for the yellow flag. You may have seen the HRT tribute liveried machine facing the wrong direction, but there it is at the very back of the shot, going back in the right direction. And we're just hearing this is the penultimate lap of the race. There'll be one more after this one. Looks like Jamieson has slightly responded last time through, but it's still so tight between these two. They're matching each other at the moment.
I like the rego number on this car, old one. Is that the driver or the car? We'll get that question answered between now and the last race of the day. I tell you what, it might be an old one, either the driver or the car, but it's being used to absolute great effort at the moment. Let's see if he can keep it straight this time. He does. Doesn't waste any time getting sideways out there. We're not at Avalon right now. It's not about the kings of wings and spinning it sideways. It's about point and shoot here at Sandown. 2 long straights, get the traction down as we have the final lap for race number 2 for the weekend for the Excalibur Screwbolts Victorian Saloon Car Championship. And there is our race leader for Zuma Signs, car number 59, Sean Jamieson.
Lindorf has caught back on the tail of DJ for 3rd position, just behind these two. They are pretty much nose to tail, but Pridmore is throwing everything at it. He seems quicker than Jamieson, particularly this first half of the lap, using all the curb, really keeping up. Oh, did DJ clip the wall there? That was mighty close. And it's allowed Lindorf to get a great run up the back straight. But now Lindorf's slowing a little bit. Not quite sure what's happened there. I think he might have missed a gear. Had a great opportunity, but couldn't quite capitalise on that occasion.
Sympathetic gear miss?
Yeah, I don't think so. Trav's a fierce competitor.
Absolutely fierce. Yeah, sure.
Oh, he lost the wheel. Oh, this is the Gaunt car. Oh,
I've got to quote Barry Sheen now. 3 wheels has my wagon. So, and there it is, ends up a couple of 100 metres away.
That's the car that they fixed the gearbox, they fixed the new gearbox, new clutch, but unfortunately need 4 wheels on the wagon as the cars come to the line. Jamieson had to fight for this one, but he withstood the pressure and takes his 2nd race victory. Oh, red flag. So we're actually going to go back a lap. That's just because of the loose wheel, but the wheel on the circuit. But we'll go back a lap, and that means it's the same result anyway. Jamieson wins race number 2.
I'm not sure. Did the race winner get to the line to the checkered flag before the red flag came out?
No,
the red flag came out first. Okay. Yep. So, we're just being told there's a fire down at turn 2, and I would suggest that's a hot break on a car that has only got 3 wheels left on it, parked up down there. But gee, when you're having a bad weekend, you're having a bad weekend, aren't you? There goes the wheel. It heads off, as I quoted the great man Barry Sheen, and there's a fire out over here. So I wonder if that's a bit of a brake disc or something that's sprayed out over there. Stranger things have happened in motorsport. There goes the flaggies. But certainly whenever Jamo takes the grid in a Ford or a Holden, you've got to pay full attention to what's going on there as the field streams away. And it looks like mid-pack we're going to go 4 wide.
I don't think that's mid-pack. That's right near the front.
That's the front, isn't it? Yeah, they're at least 3 wide at the moment, that's for sure.
Again, came Baxter Smith. Brilliant start. Double front lock-up. There's a bit of contact with Jamieson and Pridmore, but for the first time all weekend long, it's not Jamieson leading. Came Baxter Smith from 6th on the grid.
This is amazing start. What a good start for the 56 Swift Solar there. And this is what the field need to do to Jamo there. He really does need to be Sean Jamieson, not Scott. Sean Jamieson, he needs to be abated before turn 1 and bottled up. They really all need to almost gang up on him and just leave him back in the pack. Otherwise, he just drives away with it. The rest of the field streaming on through. And the 33 of Darren Kritzis goes through very nicely indeed. But have a look at this. Out in front, out of the 56, out of 6th position. And I tell you what, the 66 is going, where did you come from? I was on the front row. I'm Kieran Pridmore. I'm coming at you. And Sean Jamieson now in the Boomer Signs entry, just getting a little bit loose. Coming out of there. He's eager to run with them. They get mirrors torn off, almost torn off Baxter Smith's car. It's hanging on by the wiring. But wow, look at this. Sean Jamison's going to go wide. Very, very wide. Carries the speed though. Flows the car even though he was on the dirt. Crowds over right onto Kieran Pridmore there. And here we are right alongside with Daniel Johnson. And this is what he said he didn't want to see. He just wanted a nice, easy race.
Yes, exactly right. But he's supplying great images to us and you watching at home on Blendline TV. As they go side by side, they're rubbing door panels. Out wide goes Jamieson, but he holds on, and now we're firing up the inside. DJ on the inside of Pridmore. There's contact. Oh, Pridmore just about keeps it in a straight line, and so does DJ. And here comes Travis Lindorf. He takes 4th position down there into turn number 4. They've certainly taken the gloves off for this last one, haven't they?
Very reminiscent of like a Toka Touring Cars type of era. That right there. You open the door up for one guy to give him a bit of room and someone else fills the gap very, very quickly indeed. But wow, all things change and they stay the same. A lock up in the race leader. The 56 guys take evasive action, but whoa, the 59 left front slides into turn number 9 there as well. Gets out of the corner nicely. Pridmore goes through and that was
Baxter Smith falling back.
Smith going back a spot there as well with that mirror hanging off.
And Lindorf going around the outside as well at the penultimate corner. There he goes now up the inside. He's done that nicely, and DJ's got a good run on Baxter Smith. We've seen this all weekend from Kane Baxter Smith. Brilliant start, brilliant opening lap, and then he seems to fall back quite quickly. He's already now down to 5th position, and I'm sure Adam Lowndes would like to follow the rest of the group through and into the top 5 as well. As we go down the gearbox into turn number 1. Jamieson has bolted. He's only been in the lead 3 kilometres, but he has taken off into the distance. The fight, though, very much on for 2nd, and this is a bit further back from the recovering McSwain. He's missing a few bumpers and tail lights, but nevertheless, he is out there in the 34 machine. A bit of a smoke signal from James Jeske just ahead there. Good battle here. Actually, Tony Ordino's lost a bit of ground in the early stages of this one. He's at the back of this 5-car train, and then beyond that there is Kevin Stoopman just at the very back of the shot, about to come through now. Any second, there he is, Kevin Stoopman, a good driver. He's made up a few places on the opening couple of laps.
Tony Ordino hasn't really featured in the racing here this weekend. He's sort of just had a bit of a back of shot type of role.
I was talking to him just before this race, and he was saying to me, just the engine, he says, I'm at least 12 Ks down on every single straight to those around me.
Oh, wow.
So,
you don't want that at Sandown.
No, exactly right.
You can cope with it at Winton. You can even sort of kind of cope with it at Phillip Island, but not here. No. Not here. There's the 91. We're just getting a good look at, lurching its way through the final bit there. That's Jetski there, and doing a very good job just in the rear vision mirror as we go back up to the front now. Bit of battle scars on the 59. Runs a bit close with people, gets the elbows out. There goes the Casey Accident Repairs car of Travis Lindorf for a moment into 2nd, holds on. Pridmore wants it just as much, and they're going to get pretty racy with each other, these 2 Commodore races. And right in the back of shot there it is Daniel Johnson going, get racy, boys. I'll just watch on for the next half a lap or so.
Oh, getting really close to the concrete wall, aren't they? Using all of the road out there. Fastest lap of the race last time through. You can see at the bottom of your screens, Travis Lindorf is now in 2nd, and he is going to be trying to catch our race leader Jamieson, who so far this weekend has taken both the race victories. But last race, the quickest man on the track was Lindorf, but he had to come all the way from the back of the field. This is now a fair fight between those 2 at the front. Ford versus Holden, and it's Ford versus Holden for 3rd as Pridmore drops 2 wheels through the grass out wide on the outside. Johnson not quite close enough to take advantage of that on this occasion, this time through. But they are nose to tail, 3rd and 4th. Really good racing between all of the front-running saloon car drivers this weekend. 8 minutes left, and Lindorf again, fastest lap of the race. 9/10 faster than Sean Jamieson. It is on now at the pointy end of this field. Lindorf is right on the tail of Jamieson as they tip it into turn number 1. Turn number 2 now. There he is. This is the first time we've seen Jamieson really challenged, closed up. Of course, he did lose the lead at the start of this one, but this is the first time anyone's really matched him on pure pace all weekend long.
How's Kieran Pridmore sliding through turn 4 there? On the full opposite lock, driving out over the ripple strips and landing off the back of the Pertec ripple strip and just driving on through there. So using absolutely anything he's got left under the Bridgestones at the end of this weekend. But very impressive performance here by Travis Lindorf to come up through the field. And of course, where did Travis come up? Out of position 4, and to now be challenging with the guy that really has just dominated from the gate opening at the start of this weekend. And he is right with him here at the moment. So let's get behind Travis Lindorf in the Casey Accident Repair. This would have to be his home track. Casey Accident Repair is not too far away from here indeed, whereas Sean Jamieson's got a long old drive home tonight back to SA. We don't want to be inhospitable to you and your fellow South Australians, Dan, but we certainly want to try and get at least one Victorian win in the saloon cars this weekend.
Well, it might be happening right now, because here comes Travis Lindorf looking up the inside. Jamieson defending fairly and cleanly, using the curb, bouncing off at turn number 1. Lindorf, great run, forcing Jamieson to go defensive into turn number 2 as well. This is a really high-quality race in between these two. Of course, both of them former Victorian States Series champions in saloon cars. In fact, 3 of the top 4. In fact, 4 of the top 5. I can keep going backwards. Pridmore, the only one of the top 5 that hasn't won the State Series. Although Baxter Smith, actually, I'm not sure if he did a State Series.
Yeah, Johnson's giving him a bit of a wave. I'm coming at you. Look at that. I love it. Bit of personality shown there by Daniel Johnson. Can't be a quietly spoken gentleman, but just giving him the, yeah, you keep going, buddy. Keep your eyes ahead, and I'll let you know as I come through. Love it. That's great.
I think he knows that Pridmore has the pace to keep up with those two ahead, and he's saying, you just focus on your job, and I'll follow you along. Let's make this a 4-car battle.
Get on you there, Daniel. We won't be thinking of the camera at all. He'll be just thinking of, I've got to get into this guy's mind. If he's going to look at me in the mirrors, I'm going to give him the hand signals to tell him I'm coming on through.
Good exit from Lindorf.
That's what I love about this sort of racing,
Dan,
good. Is that it's just so much emotion with the drivers, and they just love it.
Lowndes going defensive against Kane Baxter Smith a little bit further back, but let's look at the lead, because once again Jamieson had to defend Lindorf right there. There might have been a little bit of a touch up there midway through turn 1. Lindorf's going, well, it's a little too early to go defensive here, Sean. Come on. Let's, and again defensive into turn number 4. This is fantastic racing. Oh, sliding out there was Lindorf, and so again, Pridmore spends his whole life going sideways, I think, Pridmore really putting on a show, sliding up close to the camera. Lowndes has slightly extended that margin over Baxter Smith this time through, and then we can see McSwain a little bit further behind as they go over the crest of the hill into turn 6. Jamieson looks good around there, and then under the brakes, this is where Lindorf is very, very strong. And are Pridmore and Johnson closing? Let's have a look at their last laps. 26-1 for both of the leaders, 25-8 for both 3rd and 4th. So they are edging ever so slightly closer, lap on lap, but they need these two to keep fighting if they want to close that margin down by the end of this motor race. There's 4.5 minutes exactly left on the clock as they cross the line. What can Lindorf do this time? Can he go for an inside move? Jamieson's blocked that off the last couple of times, and it looks like he's drifting over to do the same again. Lindorf decides the outside line this time for a good cutback, and he's got a good cutback as well. Can he go to the inside in turn number 2? He's very close. Again, Jamieson defends. This is great racing from the pair. Oh, Jamieson kicks it out sideways. Lindorf right on his tail, and more sideways action. These two behind it closing. Oh, Pridmore, I think he touched the wall. That was so close. If he didn't, yep, I think there's a bit of damage. Pridmore definitely got the wall at turn number 3. We really got to that camera angle at the perfect time. Look at this. So much smoke coming from the back of the car, the rear right, clouting the concrete wall at high speed. If I was carrying, I'd be lifting here at this point. And it allows DJ to close right up. Can't go around the outside, but I'm not sure that tyre on Pridmore's is going to last till the end of this motor race. That is a lot of tyre rubbing going on at this portion of the race with 3 minutes to go. This is brilliant camera work from what Blendline TV have done, and DJ supplying those shots to us.
Fantastic there. I tell you what though, right at the moment this is a harrowing ride for Daniel Johnson, just watching the car in front. He knows that it's got a tyre failing on it because he's getting covered in black stuff being fired at him. Here he goes. They come back around out of turn 4. Here comes Kieran Pridmore.
Oh.
There it is. And I'm surprised we've still got a lens in the camera there with the amount of debris that got blown by.
Again, Lindorf having a look and forcing Jamison to lock up that time. So he is right there now, Travis Lindorf, and a change for 3rd position. DJ goes through. I think Pridmore might be trying to nurse the thing to the line now. The number 66 Commodore taking a beating. In fact, I'm not even sure that's tracking right at the back of the car. It's taken quite a hit.
I reckon there's a bent something there, some sort of trailing arm, even a hub or something like that, because that's nasty. The car's not exactly behaving as it has been, and he has been driving the wheels off it, and well, he's been driving the wheels into the barriers. That's how hard he's been driving. And I've got to say, entertainment factor, 12 out of 10 for what Kieran Pridmore's put on this weekend.
Speaking of entertainment factor, Sean Jamison sideways under brakes, down into Dandenong Road. He's doing everything he possibly can, really showing his years in these saloon cars. He's been around for so many years, has Sean Jamison. But so has Travis Lindorf. Had a bit of a break for a couple of years, came back midway through last season, and he really wants the title this year. Wasn't the race one he wanted, but it's been good since then, and he's got a great run down the pit straight. Can he do anything with it? This time, for the first time, he's got the inside line down in towards turn number 1. But again, Jamison closes the door, but again, a lockup. This is fantastic. I keep saying it, but I just can't get over how close and exciting this is. We very much have saved the best till last, haven't we? This weekend, this is a cracking battle. Ford versus Holden. Lindorf comes to the inside. He's got aggressive. They're banging door panels, and he still can't make it stick into turn number 4. He's throwing everything at it. But Jamison has all of the answers at this stage of the race. Pridmore now coming under attack from Lowndes behind, but we can't take our eyes off the action at the front of the field. I look here, Rob Knight not too far ahead. Will the lap traffic play a factor? Rob's normally very good with the leaders, very heads-up driver, and I'm sure he will move out of the way. But there we go, Lowndes through into 4th position. So he's now the 2nd best of the Commodores.
Last lap board being ready at the Crow's Nest now for our racers as they make their way around through turns 9, 10, 11 and 12, and we head off onto the final lap of round 1 of the 888 Home Loans Victorian State Circuit Racing Championship. Big shout out to Excalibur Screwbolts for their efforts with the saloon cars here this weekend. Let's run through it as they head off on their final journey around this fantastic racetrack. Jamison to Lindorf, Travis Johnson, Lowndes up 1, Pridmore goes down 1, Baxter Smith in 6th place, ranging at the front of the field. In fact, led the race into turn number 1 was Baxter Smith. McSwain to Griffith, Bright, Shembry, Kevy, Stoopman about to put one of the older cars inside the top 10. He'll be driving the wheels off it after sadly his Evo not performing in Sports Sedans here this weekend. Let's watch this one, Dan, all the way through. The 2 leaders, Jamison and Travis Lindorf. Let's see if Trav can get that checkered flag.
Again, it was Lindorf with the better exit all the way up the hill. That'll be paying dividends, I should say. So go over the crest. Will the number 33 play a factor in the closing corners? Lindorf not close enough to make a move at turn number 6, that's for sure. And down into Dandy Road, Jamison defends again. That's a big lockup. That was one of the biggest lockups he's had so far. Had to really wrestle the wheel to get it turned into the tight left-hander. And Lindorf is close enough to have a real look, a real chance at taking the race victory, but I don't think it's going to quite be enough. He's got a good exit, a very good exit. Jamison's all sideways. They're going to be side by side to the line, but Jamison holds on by
Travis
a tenth and a
Lindorf
half.
bouncing it off the rev limiter to the line there as well. Wow, well done to Travis Lindorf, taking it up to Jamo. For him though, 3 from 3 this weekend, Dan.
Yeah, really, really good performance. Had to fight for it though in that last one. Travis Lindorf, certainly the quicker of the two, but could not find a way by. Have to say well done to Daniel Johnson, 3rd place. That's 3 third places for the race weekend, so very solid start to his championship defence, that is for sure. And we have to say thank you for the great camera work that he did in that one. And here we are in the older spec machines. Quite remarkable to see or know that Kevin Stootman is behind the wheel of that one. We've had 2 different winners in the older spec class category so far this weekend. This will be a 3rd. So it's between the other 2 behind, though, for who's going to take the round honours. I'm sure Stootman enjoyed himself out there. As you say, it's not been the greatest weekend for him in the sports sedan, but he comes home with a win in the older spec cars, the EA Falcon in 10th position, and set his PB on the last lap as well, at 29.7. So he's getting used to... Oh, sorry, I'm looking at Shembry there, 29.7. He actually buttoned off a little bit. Gray comes home in position number 12. That's enough for him to take round honours in the older spec car class. Very nicely done on his debut in the series.
Daniel Johnson on screen now, just waving g'day and thanks to all of the officials trackside. He has not missed a flag point yet to give him a wave and a thumbs up, and that's the kind of guy he is. A great bloke. Competitors love him. His fellow competitors love him. The officials always get a good wave from him. And a very big thank you, and I'm pretty sure Daniel typed that up across the bottom of the screen while he was there. Thanks to the officials and volunteers. To become a Motorsport official, visit motorsport.org.au/officials. A very big thank you in what has turned out to be quite a warm day with full sunlight. So I reckon we're going to see some red faces and a bit of t-shirt tans as the officials come in from this one. Here's the results, Dan.
Absolutely. Sean Jamison doing it for the South Australians. 3 out of 3 ahead of Travis Lindorf. Daniel Johnson coming home in 3rd, just 4.2 seconds behind. Adam Lowndes in 4th. Kane Baxter-Smith taking 5th place on the final lap there, ahead of the wounded Karen Pridmore Commodore. Andrew McSwain coming home in 7th. Good recovery for him, ahead of Jackson Griffith, Kerry Bright and Justin Shembry.
Travis Lindorf, the fastest lap of the race, and I guess that's one of the telling tales out of this. He can hold his head high, that he took it up to Jamo in the last one, got the fastest lap of the race. So well done to Travis Lindorf and the Casey Accident Repair crew, doing a tremendous job, as have you, Dan. A terrific weekend of delivering some fantastic commentary for the saloon cars and the Vic V8s, the XLs and Formula Vs. You combined magnificently with Steve DeVries. So a big thank you to you and Steve for all of the work that you've done here this weekend.
And thank you, Darren Smith, the voice of the Vic State Race Series.